Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome along to the very first end of year LEGO Minifigure Awards. It is time for us to sit back and have a look at some of the best minifigures that LEGO have released during the course of the year without featuring any G.I. Jane jokes. So I have compiled a list of my top 10 minifigures released during the course of 2023 in an attempt to award the trophy for the best minifigure of the year. Oh, I grabbed the wrong sign. And I know that the best bit of this video was not researching who I want to put on this list, or indeed coming up with my top 10, but it's knowing that there is a Karen or a Kevin out there watching this video having a meltdown on who I've chosen. I know it's true. All right. So, let's get into it by starting with some honourable mentions. The strong candidates who didn't quite make it into today's top 10. So the honourable mentions today go to the Pac-Man arcade player, Detective Zane from Ninjago, the Christmas Spider-Man along with Professor Huyang from Ahsoka, and weirdly She-Hulk. The show might have been a disaster, but I do quite like the CMF. Okay, so in 10th place and kick-starting our list, we have Bruce Wayne from the Batcave Shadow Box. Not the craziest minifigure that you'll see in today's awards, but this minifigure looks fresh as you can get. And this one is a clear markup in the quality from the previous versions of Bruce Wayne that LEGO have released throughout the years. It will certainly cost you a penny to get this set, but the one thing you're most of the time guaranteed to get when you buy a $400 LEGO set is good quality minifigures. And a very glossy Bruce Wayne with a fresh trim and a new shirt on has just made it into today's top 10. I'm not huge on Batman and probably won't ever own this figure because I don't have $400 to fork out on a brick. But I respect the quality of this figure, and that is indeed what matters. Ninth on this list brings us all the way back to the Disney 100 CMFs from April, and in particular, ninth spot belongs to Stitch. Now, the Disney 100 CMFs were one of the best releases that LEGO did this year. They went down a real treat with fans and are probably one of the best CMF series of recent times. Looking at these minifigures right now, the reason why Stitch has made it onto this list, rather than the likes of Baymax and Robin Hood, is all because I have to give LEGO credit on just how well they did his dual molded arms. I believe it's a throwback to the beginning of Stitch when he was classed as a test project. What was it called? Project 626. Boom. It has been a long time since I watched anything to do with Lilo and Stitch. But either way, I have to give credit to this minifigure because it is a definite standout from the Disney 100 CMF wave. And all I ask for is more CMFs like this one in the future. I believe in you, LEGO. I believe. Moving on to 8th spot, we have the Boba Fett Mech. The mechs are horrible. I'm just not a fan and I think they're way too overpriced. But this minifigure that you do get of Boba Fett is arguably the best version of Boba Fett that LEGO have released in years. It has everything you want. It's got leg and arm printing and the correct representation of the damage to Boba Fett's armor. So if you are to pick up a Star Wars mech, it is definitely the one to get for the top quality minifigure that you do indeed get. I just wish these were $10. But it's definitely one of the best LEGO Star Wars minifigures of the year, and it 100% qualifies for a place on today's list. And if you collect LEGO Star Wars, then you do need to get this one for your collection. I cannot stress how important that is. If you don't, you're missing out. Okay, so 7th spot is Shared. I couldn't decide on one, so I figured they could both go in together. Sharing is caring, and also subscribing. You can stop plugging yourself now. But the Amazing Spider-Man and the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man both take up 7th spot. You have to give credit to LEGO when you can, and this set was definitely one of those times. I cannot stress how wonderful this set is. Yes, not all the minifigures released were of any particular quality, but to have an OG throwback of both Tobey and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man included with LEGO, it has to be one of the highlights of the year. And I have to say that the job they did on these minifigures was really, really good. What makes it even better, and definitely the deciding factor as to why they've made it onto today's top 10, is because the alternate heads that LEGO chucked in. I really never thought we'd get these minifigures remade out of LEGO, and definitely not to the standard that LEGO did it. So an all-round quality release from LEGO Marvel, and a solid ranking in today's list. Now 6th spot and just outside of the top 5 goes to another Marvel character, but this time from the CMF Series 2 range, which also did come out this year. So in 6th spot, we do indeed have Moon Knight, not Mr. Knight. Yes, the show might have been a complete disaster, but the Series 2 wave of Marvel CMFs did feature some real quality minifigures, and Moon Knight was definitely one of them. There's an incredible amount of detail all over this guy's torso, and his legs match the quality too. Plus there's something very satisfying with the complete white and grey finish. So I couldn't not include a minifigure of this quality. This is a top class minifigure, LEGO. Well done. Now it gets spicy. Nando's Extra Hot has just entered the building. It is time for the top 5. And in 5th position we have Tails from the new range of Sonic sets. Now it may not be the most detailed or indeed the fanciest minifigure that you'll see in this year's awards, but the nostalgia and childhood memories are flowing all over this minifigure. It's great to be finally getting some more Sonic sets. But I will tell you this now, and when Shadow is released next year, my favourite Sonic character, that will be a minifigure that I have to get. Either way, LEGO did a good job with the first few sets in this Sonic range. The minifigures are of a good standard, and Tails is a prime example of that. Moving on to 4th spot and missing out just on the podium, we had the Yavin Rebel-based Luke Skywalker. This set features 12 different minifigures. I forgot that bit. But the standout minifigures that you do get has to be Luke and Han in their award ceremony outfits. The reason I went with Luke and not Han is because the Luke yellow jacket looks so good as a minifigure, and Han is basically in the same outfit you'll always see him in. But along with the printing that you do see on Luke's belt and indeed his legs, the gold medallion that you do get towards his honor for the rebellion, it just looks so good. And with all of this together with the yellow jacket and all the printing that LEGO features, this may have indeed won Luke a gold medal, but he has just missed out of the top 3, which means he won't be winning any more silverware in today's awards. But for a set that just costs $170, it's worth it for this minifigure alone. Okay everybody, it is time for the top 3, and in 3rd place, we have this guy. Oh my god, you're all gonna hate me. But can we not show a little bit of appreciation towards the amount of work this guy puts into his beard? It's pink. Dragon of the East is his name, and you might not have heard of him, but he is from the LEGO Monkey Kid range. But you have now, Christ, this minifigure isn't cheap. It's gonna cost you like $15. But when you get a set of hair like that and a pretty colourful outfit to match, is that horns? I think it is. My dude has to go down as one of the best minifigures of the year. Surely. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that one. I wonder if I'm the only person that thinks that. You guys are gonna go nuts at me. You really are. Now it's time for our runner-up for minifigure of the year. Now this guy did cause quite a bit of controversy when he was announced, as he hasn't featured in a set for years. And a lot of people got worried that this would indeed drive the value of previous versions of him down. But it is indeed the incredible UCS version of Captain Rex. He has to go down as one of the best minifigures of the year. I personally never thought that we'd see Rex feature again in another LEGO set. And for those of you that do indeed own Phase 1 and 2 versions of Captain Rex, yes, they are top quality minifigures, but you will have to agree with me in saying that this version of Phase 2 Rex is the creme de la creme. I was blown away when I first saw the quality that LEGO have indeed put into this figure. I mean, well, you should expect that in a $600 set. And the shoulder pad accessory is so much better than what LEGO have been doing recently, with printing pieces rather than actually just chucking in accessories. It is just a real difference in quality. So Rex narrowly missed out on being the 2023 minifigure of the year, but there could only be one. Hard decisions were made, but the results have been counted. And to win the trophy for minifigure of the year 2023, and to be crowned our champion, God, this is turning into the Hunger Games. Drum roll. That was probably a bit too loud. It's Adam Warlock. You knew it had to be true, but our gold printed man featuring in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and from the LEGO Bowie this year, it just had to take up the minifigure of the year award. I have given this minifigure so much love throughout this year, and it is almost destiny that Adam does indeed have to win this year's award. The detail, the robe, and a hell of amount of gold, it all goes together perfectly, and it does create a fantastic figure, and incredibly a really accurate version of the movie for such a fun character in general. So indeed, without any bias, and I mean that, Adam Warlock is indeed the minifigure of the year. I don't know what that was. But we will be back in a year for another celebration of what 2024 has to hold. And I'm sure the competition will be stronger than ever before. Thank you for joining me on this year's Minifigure of the Year Awards. I've had a blast creating it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys.